All right, let's just jump right in with a really simple but honestly pretty huge question. Does your company actually matter to your customers? I mean, really think about it. If you guys just vanished tomorrow, would anybody really miss you? That is the question at the heart of this explainer, based on the book, Do You Matter? And to really get it, we've got to go back in time to one of the most famous and, let's be real, most spectacularly wrong predictions in the history of business. So that was Michael Dell, back in 1997, talking about Apple, which at the time was failing hard. It was practically bankrupt. And his advice probably seemed pretty reasonable back then. Apple really did look like a lost cause. But that one quote, wow. It ended up being the perfect setup for one of the greatest corporate comebacks ever. And the whole story really boils down to one surprising, totally counterintuitive idea.
So this really is a tale of two titans. On one side, you had Dell, who was the absolute king. I mean, they were masters of efficiency, of supply chains, just a well-oiled machine. And then on the other side, you had Apple, a company pretty much on life support, with its founder, Steve Jobs, just having returned to face what looked like a completely impossible mission.
So what was Jobs' big, secret plan to save the company? Was he going to slash prices? Try to copy Dell's famous supply chain? Nope. His big answer was something almost nobody in the tech world was even thinking about back then. His answer was design. I mean, just think about how insane that must have sounded. Your company is bleeding money, you're weeks away from going under, and the new CEO's big idea is to focus on how the products look and feel. In a world of boring, beige computer boxes that were all about specs, focusing on industrial design? Well, to a lot of people, it seemed completely out of touch. But it turned out to be the key to absolutely everything. Okay, so let's just fast forward 10 years, a single decade. We're in mid-2007. This number, that's Apple's market cap. That one seemingly crazy focus on design had turned Apple from a company everyone had written off into the most valuable computer maker on the entire planet. They were worth more than a giant like IBM. And what about Dell? The company whose founder said Apple should just pack it in? At that very same moment, their market cap was $64 billion. Now look, that's a huge, successful company, for sure, but it was less than half of Apple's value. This just perfectly shows you the power of what Apple did. Dell was playing the game, but Apple had completely rewritten the rules. So here's the most important part to understand. When we talk about design in this story, we are not just talking about making things look pretty. It is so much deeper than that. It's a core business strategy that gets to the very heart of what a company is. Right, so great design, according to the book, is all about forging an emotional connection. It's about making sure your product isn't just an object people buy, but that it's a portal, a gateway to an entire experience. An iPhone isn't just a phone, right? It's your connection to friends, your camera, your entertainment. It's a gateway. That's the difference. And this quote just nails it. This is the soul of the whole thing. A really well-designed product is communicating an idea. It's telling you a story. It stands for something bigger than itself. It's not just a pile of circuits and plastic. It's the physical form of a purpose. And oh man, this is the perfect contrast. Come on, you remember the Motorola Razr, right? What an iconic design. It was a massive, massive hit. But here's the thing. Motorola treated it like a one-hit wonder. They tried to just slap that cool veneer onto other products, but they never built a real culture around design. Apple, on the other hand, made design the very foundation of their culture, so they could create experience after experience, not just a single cool object. Okay, so this is all great for Apple. But how do you actually apply it? Well, the book says that to figure out if you truly matter, you have to ask yourself 3 brutally honest questions about your own company. First up, who are you? And listen, this goes way deeper than your mission statement or some slick marketing tagline. We're talking about the fundamental identity of your company. If your company was a person, what would its personality actually be? The second question is, what do you do? And again, this isn't just a list of your products and services. What is your core function? In the simplest terms possible, what is the one fundamental thing you do for the people you serve? And finally, we get to the big one, the most important question of all. Why does it matter? What unique value are you actually creating in the world? What real difference do you make in people's lives? This is the question that separates the companies people truly love from the ones they just put up with. Answering those 3 questions honestly is really your first step to becoming a truly design-driven company. And the biggest takeaway here is that this isn't something you can just delegate. You can't just hand it off to the design department. It has to be baked into your company's DNA. So what does that actually look like? Well, in a design-driven company, great design is literally everyone's job, from the engineers to the accountants to the marketing team. The main goal is always to create meaningful experiences, not just to ship boxes. And when you do that, the result is this deep emotional connection with your customers, the kind of connection that, you guessed it, makes a company truly matter. Which brings us to this final, really provocative thought. This is the ultimate test. If your company just ceased to exist today, would the world be a genuinely darker place? Would there be a hole left behind that nobody else could quite fill? If you can look yourself in the mirror and confidently say yes, then you know you truly matter.